Hi, my name is Nika Commodore.
And I'm Chelsea Wynn.
And this is The Ironic Pod.
We're two complete strangers who wound up purpose mates, business partners, and best friends in the matter of months.
We like to have real life conversations about our healing journey and how we fell into alignment with our purpose. Yo, we made it.
I sure was finna do it again.
Listen, today ain't that day.
We done did it 4 times.
4 times, and we wasted 45 minutes just sitting
here. You didn't have to say all that.
She said, give the people the truth.
You're right. I usually do stand by that. But this time,
yeah. Anyway.
What's up? What's good? How are you?
I think I'm good.
You think?
I think.
You don't know for sure?
Had real life anxiety getting this episode started. I have no idea why. There was a huge resistance. I literally, it's like, cat got my tongue. The cat had my tongue.
No, I feel that. It must be a good episode.
I hope so, because what are we talking about?
I don't even know what we're talking about.
First off, what's the word?
Ooh. See, we was over here cackling for about 45 minutes. I didn't even think about what's the word. What's the word? Let me think. Okay, what's the word as in what you've been listening to? You've been listening to a song, a podcast, a sermon. You want to go first?
Nothing's just... Listen, to be completely honest, it's going to sound real cocky with it, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I watched episode 7 today.
Okay. Why's that cocky? You should be watching the episode.
Actually, you're right, because I walked up to our data tag earlier, and I was like, yeah, I was just listening to my podcast, while I was working, and she was like, well, that's a flex, not everybody.
Okay, period. It is.
But I think it's because, when I'm in the zone here, I don't really remember half the things I say.
Yeah.
Watching that episode back was enlightening.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, we really be sounding like we know what we talking about.
I don't know where it be coming from.
I mean,
I'll be like, dang, I said that.
Anytime you're putting them clips up, and it'd be me talking, I'd be like, all right.
That was
I'm
good.
with it if you with it. Shoot.
Oh, man. But you liked the episode, though?
Yeah, I love the episode. There was a lot of things that challenged some things that I thought were insecurities. And just how comfortable we were in our element. Especially just thinking of earlier videos and even videos that we never aired. Just seeing the comfort and the natural organic vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so wild thinking about we were literally strangers when we started. Even when you came into, because the studio was my office space. The whole thing was my office space to begin with. And we renovated half of it. And she was just in here in my space. And I'm like, this stranger is just here. But it felt so fine. It just felt normal.
It felt normal to her. I was uncomfortable. I was like, I'm all up in her space. Don't even know her middle name.
No idea what that is. Why do people keep middle name secrets anyways? I know so many people that be like, oh, I'm not about to tell you my middle name. Why? What's the secret?
Because they don't want you to know their entire government.
Why?
Because they might think you're trying to steal their identity. I don't know who wants to be you. Just kidding.
I know.
I'm kidding.
Right.
I know. Kind of kidding.
She's not kidding.
I said I'm kidding and shook my head no.
You better stand on what you said.
I'm 10 toes down on this road right
now. That's funny. Okay, so you've been watching the episode. You don't have no songs, no.
I've been running old stuff back. All right, guys, I have a confession. I'm about a decade late, but I'm starting to have a crush on Chris Brown.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been playing his first album. And it's not like I didn't know the songs. I knew the song. Album? But going back and hearing them songs, I'm like, oh, this was a good little time. I ain't have no bills.
That was a good album. I mean, he's got a lot of good music, but nothing hits like that one.
I blame TikTok, honestly, on the new obsession because all these little Lovers and Friends concert clips and everything like that. I was like,
it's a vibe.
It's but yeah, that's my confession, and I'm standing on it.
Period. He ain't fine.
I was jamming to that on the way home from the gym. Yes. Stop tripping.
But girl, he's living. It is. It's no, that sounded like an attack.
That was pretty targeted.
That was not for me.
Listen,
my guy is not
good. For these last couple episodes.
I know. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm attacking.
They know.
Well, as long as y'all know.
They know.
Anyways, what's the word for me? I've been on
some love songs.
No, I have not. I've been on country lately. I've been on that Morgan Wallen.
Who?
You Proof?
Who?
You Proof?
What?
Wow. You would like You Proof.
I would not.
I mean, maybe not the song, but the lyrics. I need something you proof, something stronger than I'm used to. I've been pouring 90 to 100. Feel like nothing's gonna cut it. That's
Not
the
you
hard
trying
truth.
to rap these country lyrics. Like, relax.
That is not a rap. That is simply
that was
telling
aggressive.
you, I need something you proof.
Okay.
You don't get it?
Yes, I get it.
That's a good song. I feel like you would like that, the lyrics of it.
Send me the...
Please like it.
She wants me to like country so bad.
Just one song.
I be showing her snaps when I'm listening to like the 3 country songs on my playlist.
She'd be like, that's country, right? Baby, no. I mean, I guess
Blake
it is,
Shelton
but no.
is country. He's the entire country coach of The Voice. He wears cowboy boots.
That's great, but that's not my kind of country that I want you to sing.
Joe.
Yeah, and he's great looking, and
that is a fine old man. I ain't gonna hold you.
I love him for that, but that's not what we're trying to vibe to. We're trying to vibe to You Proof, something stronger than I'm used to. I've been pouring 90 to 100. Feel like nothing's gonna cut it. That's the hard truth.
You mean to tell me God gave me you? Ain't a banger.
God gave me you for the ups and downs.
That's what
No.
I vibe with that song.
I mean, it's cool, but it ain't on my playlist.
It's fine. I have a playlist called Your Girl in Love.
Are you in love?
Oh, wait, I changed the name. It's now Purpose Between the Promise.
Dang, that's a big switch up.
Same person.
Period.
At this point, y'all. Single and in love makes no sense.
Yo, we really be on these podcasts or on this podcast trying to hide stuff, but not really hide
me. Choose me. Love me.
That's a good one. I felt that when she said that.
Man, with the tears.
With the tears. Or you don't get to call me a whore. Or maybe was it a hoe? I don't remember. You don't get to call me a whore. We don't have to edit this.
No, I think it's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, what are we talking about today? Honestly, we keep it in a buck. She texted me today like, hey, are we recording today? I said, well, we recorded. Because God ain't tell me what we talking about. And she's like, oh, I think boom, 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 boom. A whole paragraph. So I try to come up with little talking points from her paragraph. She never confirmed nor denied if they aligned with what her initial message was. So, per usual, we're going to wing this conversation. But we do have talking points. So today we are talking about the pieces coming together.
Yeah, because we've been talking about our healing journey, isolation season, unhealed versus healed. What happens when the pieces start coming together and your life starts going according to how God told you it's going to go?
First off, I know God likes us to have a humble heart.
Yeah.
But when I tell y'all I'm ready for these I told you so's.
I'm ready.
And I will put my stamp on it. I told you in 2019.
Yup. Told ya.
Gotcha. Oh, you're seeing the vision now. Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, we're talking about pieces coming together. I feel like both of us are kind of experiencing things where we're seeing the manifestations of what God spoke to us years ago, months ago, weeks ago, whatever the case may be. And we're like, hold up now, because it's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to baby step. And he's like, the process was the baby steps. I told you at the end of this process, he's getting me right now. At the end of this process,
getting me right now.
You are going to be stepping into a season of acceleration.
Yeah.
Now, when you want a season of acceleration, do you have the right to say, whoa, slow down?
No, but I shall be having an attitude.
Man.
And he'd be like, you literally asked for this. You prayed for this, and now you're going to cry about getting what you prayed for? That don't even make sense.
So you don't want this no more? Okay. That's what I thought.
You want me to take it back?
That's what I thought.
Get on up out that bed.
So
and get to it.
Yeah. So along with that, we're talking about navigating the unknown. because we already talked about navigating the unknown as an unhealed person versus a healed person. But now we're navigating the unknown with alignment to the vision.
Yeah.
That's wild. Because, like, we always talk about this, but when you have another person who can be like, no, I got the same word, like, we're moving to North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's not I think we're moving. No, we're moving.
Like, we are telling people where we're putting plans into place. We're selling stuff. I'm selling stuff.
I'm just throwing it out, honestly.
We got, wow. I just turned in my son's school paper yesterday.
And I have to tell my leasing office officially that after 5 years, I'm not going to live there anymore.
Yeah.
Whew. So we were also talking about how it feels like we're in a season where we're reintroducing ourselves, even to the people that have known us all our lives.
Yeah.
We just recently celebrated my birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
And thank you. And I remember there was this like real like clear moment where we were all sitting in a circle, and I was looking across from Chelsea. She was sitting across from me, and I was literally thinking like, they do not have any clue what's about to go off in my life. What's the next step? They have no idea.
Yeah.
Some of them don't even know I have a podcast. Some of them don't even know that I post videos.
Really? These your cousins?
Yeah, but it's like second cousins, and they live an hour and a half away. You know, like it's not like a we connect when we connect type thing. So just sitting there, I'm like, these are a room full of people this is a room full of people that know me, but they don't know me.
Yeah.
They don't know what I'm about to. They don't know that they're gonna have bragging rights knowing that they're my family.
Okay, period.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's just like an interesting thing, because how do you reintroduce yourself to people that know you all your life?
And are you asking? Oh, I was like, are you really asking me that question?
No, I'm just like marinating on it. You know, like seriously, how do you? Because like I realized I've had different stages in my journey with God within the last few years where I'd be like, oh wow, this is who He's calling me to be. Oh wow, I just stepped into some kind of level where I'm kind of showing up as that person. Oh wow, He told me I'm going to have a platform when I'm fully this person. Oh wow, my platform's here. So I guess I'm the person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was my incremental thing over the last 4 years, literally. So now it's like, I don't even feel like I have to reintroduce myself. Because I'm living proof. Y'all seeing how I'm walking. Y'all seeing how I'm talking. Y'all seeing my little swagger that I have now versus what I had then. And I don't fold to what y'all say like I did before.
Exactly.
And that's been an interesting transition.
Yeah. That would have been my answer. Like, how do you reintroduce yourself to people that knew you from the past? You reintroduce yourself to yourself, and you start living as that and showing up as that. And then they have no choice but to meet the new you. You know, people treat me differently because I treat myself differently and I show up differently. You set boundaries different. You know, I'm not the same person that I was before. So even if you want to treat me, you don't even want to treat me like that because I don't show up as that. So I really haven't had to I have like certain, especially when I first started like healing and really reinventing myself and stuff. I remember like my mom saying, oh, she was just used to me running late all the time, or she was used to certain little toxic traits. And so she still expected me to show up as that. And I'm like, Mom, why are you reminding me 10 times that I have to be somewhere as if I'm not about to be there? But she was used to me not being there. And I'm like, no, baby. I don't know what I was going through at the time, but that's not who I am anymore.
Right.
So just reintroduce yourself in that way. But when I started showing up on time,
as yourself,
as myself, or who I was supposed to be anyway. But yeah,
it's an interesting time. I was just telling Chelsea before we started recording that the pressure of the atmosphere that I feel like we're both in. I know y'all don't see these videos with the guy with the goggles, and he's like trying to put rubber bands around a watermelon to crack it.
Yeah,
and eventually it just explodes.
Yeah, I've never seen it explode.
I've seen it explode a lot. And
How long did you sit there and watch that to see it explode?
I was at the end of his live.
Oh, okay.
The details. But yeah, so he kept adding, and he added one last one. It's just like, and I feel like we're on that last one.
Yeah.
Like we have 3 months until we're supposed to be moving.
Yeah.
I can barely cover my bills.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
We're planting all these seeds, and I can just keep thinking of Michael Todd's sermon series on bamboo, the bamboo season. He said, you know, a lot of the time is when you plant the seed and grow in the roots.
Yeah.
But as soon as it breaks the soil, it grows a foot an hour.
Yeah.
A foot an hour.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we are. Like, for example, I was watching our last video or last podcast, and I was listening to us talk about my social media. She shared with me earlier today, like, yo, that video from yesterday just hit 4K. And I'm thinking, like, Chelsea, that's light work for you. Like, what are you talking about? Then I checked my Gmail, and it's like, congratulations, your video just hit 4.1K. And I'm like, oh, she was talking about me.
Yes.
And then I was still like, TikTok, you over here rounding all my views together. Like, it's still a denial phase, but it's like, we've planted all these seeds and we're about to be growing a foot an hour.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And when you genuinely feel that, like when you feel it as heavy as we do, it's scary. I mean, it's exciting and scary at the same time. I mean, it gets less scary the more you get like closer and closer to it, but it's more of like this anxious feeling, like you said, like one more rubber band. And then you feel that rubber band going on. And you're like, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Like, okay.
Like, we're literally waiting for that one thing to happen where it's like domino effect.
Yeah. Because everything has been a domino effect.
It's like we're already, well, I have a lot of students that are in track, but I don't know nothing about track. But when you're set up and you're ready, and then they be like, you know, and then, yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like we're waiting for that signal.
Yeah. You're waiting to take off.
And as soon as that happens, it's a wrap. Like, nobody's going to be able to catch up.
Yeah.
We have a whole life in North Carolina we don't even know about.
Yeah.
I'm already making Pinterest boards on what my house gonna look like.
Me too. I already got it all planned out. I already know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. But obviously, the unknown of it all is pretty, like,
nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for sure. And the excitement, like, I'm just ready to go. Like, come on. I already see it. I'm already ready.
With this?
Yeah, like, what are we doing? Why am I waiting this amount of time? Let's go. Like, snap your fingers, God. Come on.
But we were talking about earlier, what was it? Along with that, you were talking about when you went to the park, you passed your high school, and you felt that, say what you said?
say what you said. I don't know exactly what I said,
small town feel or whatever.
Yeah. So I go to the park all the time anyways, but something told me to go to this other local park today. And I drive past it all the time. So I was like, why am I going here? Like, really? What the heck? And I was practicing jogging. So I was like jogging past my high school. And I literally like broke down. Like, I started crying and I'm like, oh, that's why I came here. Okay. Like, what's going on? But it was the first time that I genuinely felt like I'm proud of the person that I'm becoming. Like, I no longer feel like I'm stuck here. I no longer feel like, oh, I'm just going to be from this city my whole life and nothing. Like, I'm not making anything of myself. I'm not becoming anything. And that's how I've always felt. I drive by that high school every day, multiple times a day for however many years. And this was the first time I was just like, wow, like, I'm really leaving. And I had that like hometown, like, this is who I used to be type of feeling. Like, and it was a lot. It was heavy.
Right. And I had that exact same feeling like moments later.
Yeah.
Because I've been at this job that I'm currently at for 7 years. And so I started as a fresh young buck, 23 years old, right? And when I started, I didn't know who I was. I just got out of college not too long before. Was working a job that was paying bills but had no purpose, you know? And when I got into this field, I started to grow, like, it feels like rapidly, right? And today was the first day that I was driving back into the city, and it felt like somewhere that I have been, but I haven't been in a long time.
Yeah.
And I've lived here since college, like when I first moved out from my mom in 2011. So I've been here for a good little minute, you know, and I definitely grew a ton, probably more here than I did in my actual hometown, right? But today was the first moment where I looked at it and I was like, yo, like, this is the chapter ending.
Yeah.
You know, and like, it's a moment that I've always waited for, but at the same, not always, but, you know, like, for example, like 4 years ago, God told me I was going to be moving to North Carolina. I just didn't know when. I remember I had a student that he's like, Miss Nika, can you at least wait until I graduate? Today I went to a senior recognition. and I got to watch him pass the key on to the underclassmen. Yeah. And when he beamed at me, I was like, okay, that's my confirmation. I can leave now, you know, like, and it was really like a crazy feeling because like this has been my life for 7 years, just with this, working with these students and everything. And knowing that like now, like it's actually time for me to leave. It's not like when, because I know the when.
Right.
It's just more like how. How.
Yeah.
Which you brought me back to when you said God's will is God's will.
Yeah. When you're paying the bill now, God, no.
No, for real.
I mean, yeah, it's hard. I just feel like it's hard to stay on track and stay in faith when the physicalities of it all, like the worldly physicalities of it all, is not being met, or is not like the how. Like, I'm a person that I need to know every detail of everything, which is definitely something that I've been working on a lot. So I know God's about to play with me when it comes with that. You know, he's going to definitely work on me when it comes to that. And I 100% feel like this is my preparation mode with that, or my preparation season with that. But yeah, like I feel like I need to know every detail of everything. Like, okay, you want me to move to North Carolina. So what do I need to be doing to get there? How am I going to establish this? How am I going to maintain this? Where am I going to live? I need to know everything in order for me to remain in faith 100% or believe it 100%. And yeah, he ain't doing that.
Nah, I learned very quickly in my walk with God is to never ask God, can you help me with patience? Or God, can you help me with strength?
Don't do
or
that.
Discernment. Because you can be like, yeah, I got you. And he gonna get you.
He gonna get you.
And it's gonna make you want to quit.
It's gonna make you real patient.
It's gonna humble you. You ain't gonna have a choice to be patient. Yeah. Here I am waiting 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For something you told me in 2019.
Where's it at?
And you just keep adding stuff to it. Okay, but I want to see the first item first.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got to keep reminding myself it's worth it in the end, because that's exactly how it has been.
Yeah.
Every time I feel, because you can feel it, you know, I shouldn't say you, I guess you in general, but I can feel it, you know what I'm saying? When I'm working, when something is a test or something is preparation, it's like, oh, okay. Let me just work through this and figure this out and, you know what I'm saying, make it through.
Made me think of, because we always talk about how we're in different stages, but like one of us is experiencing something where someone else might have been going through right now. And it reminded me of I in my own walk, like it took me having to let him be the it sounds way better than the actual practical part, practicality there is. Wow, that was a struggle. The actual practicality of it, but God, where's my husband? Okay, you're my husband. God, finances, like, yo, what's going on? And he's like, have you ever failed at a payment?
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, when you're trying to fact check, like, I guess you never lost, you know, but it doesn't feel good. And that's not stretching, but I'm saying, like, I went through some of the lowest seasons during my walk recently, the last X amount of years or whatever. And when I say I would go through every single thing that I'm talking, you know my story.
Yeah.
I would go through every single thing all over again for the outcome I have now. Yeah. That's what tells me it's worth it.
Right. Yeah. And that's the exciting part about where we are in our journey now is I remember in the shower recently, I was sitting there like, this has all been worth it. Like the feeling that I feel right now, that just the fulfillment, and it's not even fulfillment in like we're not talking physical, like, oh, this, and I got the car and I got the house and I got the money. It's not even about that. It's like, and we've talked about that, you know, feeling like we're not completely sustained in all those areas. However, this is the happiest I've ever been. Literally. This is the most fulfilled I've ever been. This is the most me I've ever been. So it's like, I wouldn't trade this for nothing. Now wait till I get that other stuff added on top. It's over. But if that's all, I had those things and I was completely unfulfilled. So now it's like,
prepare to be sick of us. Prepare to be sick of us.
That's a good episode. If you ain't seen that on PMJ, prepare to be sick of me. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I need to go back and watch that.
On that.
Yeah,
which reminds me of. We also listed down watching the breakthroughs in our family. So I kind of opened up a little bit last week about my journey with the person that God told me was my husband. And how though he wasn't acting right, and though there were some very damaging things that could have damaged me, who I became in that process, I would do it all over again.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing in the breakthroughs of my family, I would do it all over again.
For sure.
That was light work compared to the outcome.
Yeah.
So what's your kind of like take on watching that breakthrough? Because I know that yours kind of seems like it's been more accelerated
in my
family process, more in the sense of like the doubts of the faith with some people in your family. So what would that what's that like for you?
Well, I moved home, so it's like I've seen it all right there firsthand, which has been a struggle, but they've also seen all the changes in me, and that's from the small, tiny things to the big, huge things. I just be in the kitchen making dinner or making breakfast, whatever, and I got my sermon playing, and we worshiping, and we, Treston's asking about God, and he, they see it on me, like I don't have to sit down and explain it to them or whatever. And then I see the changes in them as well. My dad's like, oh, I like this pastor. Or a couple times we all sat down at breakfast and watched a sermon together. And whether they're watching or not, I know that they're actually watching, and the comments that they make. And then, not to like get personal and open up about everybody's situation, but it's like I see the changes that I'm making in my own personal life of impacting them in a positive light. And I mean, it's been exciting. It's also been a little like nerve wracking because I don't like to ever feel like the leader.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to be the one that's breaking generational curses and all this stuff. That makes me nervous.
Yes, ma'am. You have 50,000 followers on TikTok and you want to be a leader.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it. I don't like this.
Here.
I don't. I mean, not that I don't like it. I'm working my way towards it, but that was never my intention. I never posted a video and was like, I can't wait to go viral. Like, that scares me.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that I've had to like work through, and an insecurity I've had to work through. So when everybody be like, oh, she's this and she's that. No, baby, I'm very insecure. Well, I was. And I really had to work towards that. I didn't expect that to happen the way that it did. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm used to not being but like behind the scenes, because I've always been very like bubbly and outgoing, but I don't like the spotlight. I'd rather just like, I can do it in a group or I can do it in whatever. But as far as like all eyes on me, I don't like all the attention. It makes me very nervous and I get anxious, and then I just start laughing or being extra loud and like doing all this extra stuff and making myself look dumb because I'm insecure or I'm anxious. But I mean, it's a work in progress. I'm getting better.
When you were just talking about like being a leader and everything, what was your childhood like in your relationship with being a leader?
Mm-hmm.
Because I asked that because like I have a unique schooling experience because I went to Montessori school throughout my life from preschool to high school. I was thorough Montessori, and that usually is community based, right? So when we even talk about like you working as by yourself or as an entrepreneur, me versus me with a team dynamic, I've always been a community because that's how my school raised me.
Yeah.
However, they raised us to be leaders too.
Yeah.
For example, just small things, and I'm realizing now as my child, like, wow, it's deep. Okay, so as a child, you're at your purest, right? Because life hasn't really had its hands on you yet.
Yeah.
And so as a child, I loved being a leader, right? I would always want to be the person that gave everybody hand sanitizer for snack time. I always want to be the line leader. In third grade, we would have to go, because Montessori, the classroom setup is like first, second, and third graders all in one class. Kindergartners and preschoolers all in one class. And it's to build that community, but also you're always looking at someone, but you're also leading for someone.
Right.
And so I remember, I think it was first grade, we would always go to the kindergarten room and we would get the rising first graders and bring them to the classroom that they're going to be in for that year, that next year. And I used to love that, but then life hit me, right? And that silenced me. That really crippled me. That really made me feel like I was supposed to be a follower. I was supposed to be under the radar, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But as I'm healing that inner child, I'm loving the leadership role now.
Yeah. I
love leading now. I can get on a stage with a microphone in front of hundreds of students and teachers and faculty and not even be nervous anymore. This is as in the last year or so. But it's like, as you do that inner work where you are healing that inner child and focusing on just making sure they straight.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you return back to the stuff you love. I used to love writing when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I hated school in high school. You know, so it's really crazy when you do take the time to heal that inner child.
Yeah.
How much it comes back to unfold. And then you get influence, and then you get a platform, and then you get to listen. I ain't no pro, but I can tell you what works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can be my authentic self while I'm doing it. And I can be proud of everything I went through to get here.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the same way. Like, that's how it is. And it reminds me of the South African proverb I think I've said before, which is Ubuntu. And it means I am so you are, or something like that. I'm sorry if I jacked that up. You know, it's been some years since I went. But basically the concept is we're all connected. We're all intertwined, right? And so even now, as people are like sharing my videos, and like today was my first time I saw someone share a video with their own caption too, from something I said.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that's how powerful it is just to connect.
Yeah.
I don't have to water the seed. I just have to plant it.
Right.
So when you realize that, I'm just planting the seed, that leadership role is cake. You just, you know, over here, growing here and there.
Yeah.
I mean, we always talk about how it's like, I don't know who said that because that wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I see you. And the last episode, I even talked about Wizard of Oz and the big Oz head and everything. And it's real. Like, but that's a crazy revelation I just had. Literally healing that inner child made me return to the things that I've always loved.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as the leadership role, like throughout, I'm the middle child. Right. So I have an older brother and I have a younger sister, and I never really knew my place. Like when I did have a place and I knew my stance, I felt forced to be there. So not to get like too personal, but my older brother, he's kind of like me, but he's more outspoken. Like he don't have no filter. He's never had a filter growing up, and he used to get picked on a lot in high school. And he's 1 year ahead of me, so we're really close. We were in high school all together, right? Or through all the years together. And he used to get picked on real bad, and I used to be the one standing up for him. And I used to be like, no, don't talk about my brother. Don't do that about my brother. And at one point, it's like, you're not stopping. Like, I can't save you. You know what I'm saying? I can't help you. But I remember feeling like I'm, like, the leader in that. Like, I was the more masculine. I had to be on defense mode and always stand up for him. And I didn't really get picked on for real. So he never had to do that for me. And then with my little sister, it was like I was always trying to protect her from something. So I was the leader in a sense, but I felt forced to be there. And that's happened a lot even throughout my relationships and friendships and stuff. Like I felt forced to always be in my masculine energy, like forced to defend myself all the time. So then when it came to actually being a leader when I needed to, I didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like...
It wasn't a cultivating environment.
Yeah, it was more... I had like such a toxic narrative around being a leader. Like I just didn't want to do it. And then I did it a lot in work environment too. Like I was a manager for a while. Like I've been in management positions. When you're a server and stuff, when I was first starting out working, you're by yourself for real. Like you're working your own station and your own tables and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like I've always been in leadership positions, but I never wanted them necessarily. I was forced to do that. And so, yeah, I have like a toxic relationship with that now, especially like running a small business by myself for so long. It's like a lot of the roles I don't necessarily want to be playing. I feel like I have to.
So the next bullet point, not that I want to go by the notes, but standing 10 toes down on the promise God made. Gulp.
Yeah.
Gulp.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have no choice for real. When you see it, you see it. You can't hide from it. When God gives you a vision of something, or when you can visualize something for your life that you know He's put into place, you can't hide from it. You can try to sleep it off. You can try to run from it. You can try to make different decisions. It doesn't leave, especially when you see it that clear and you don't want to. Why would I ever choose my past life over the life that I know and I clearly see He has for my future? There's nothing. The problem is in the journey itself. Yeah. I mean, that's where the beauty is, but that's where the struggle is as well. That's what makes the beauty, is the struggle. So standing 10 toes down on what He promised me, while it doesn't necessarily look like that's being fulfilled, during the process, but that's what makes you strong. So
yeah, I think finding your why, and that is always what is really going to ground you. That was my anchor, especially over these last few years. And I keep referring to these last few years. Y'all will get the episode. I just don't know when yet. But with that being said, yeah, it's coming soon. But with that being said, finding your why, because like I keep referring to, my why was always the healing I was seeing in my family or those that I was around.
Yeah.
Like, fun fact, when I did not believe in God, I used to think it was embarrassing to pray.
Yeah.
Even if it was just praying over the meal, God is good, God is great. I was embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to do with that. That doesn't seem cool.
Yeah.
And now I take pride in my prayers because people feel it instantly. I always knew that my gift was words, but I didn't really believe in them myself until I started walking in God. So finding my why was always my anchor, because it's like, this could be happening, all the stuff hitting the fan and everything. But my why was the thing. I was like, okay, but if I quit now, they're going to see that God did not fulfill something. And God literally said, my reputation is your insurance. That's deep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
not the wide eyes.
I mean,
when you have His confirmation, it will challenge your comfort zone while also providing peace.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, because during my own journey, I feel like a lot of my insecurities have come up because I have to work on them. In order to get to where I'm going, I have to prepare myself. He's going to prepare me to get there. You're not just going to see this vision of what God has for you and go to sleep, wake up, and boom, it's here. The whole journey is preparation to get there, which comes with a lot of struggles, because I had to work through all these insecurities and work through all these things that I'm, struggling with. And so it's definitely tested me. It's tested my faith. It's tested my faith in myself and in God and everybody around me, right? But yeah, and obviously that challenges my comfort zone, but at the same time, I know that it's from God. So when I'm being tested and I'm being like, I know it's preparation, and I still clearly see where I'm going, right? And so that comes with peace. It comes with knowing that God's going to test me, but He's right here with me. You know what I'm saying? He's not just like, oh, go out in the wilderness and do this, and I'm going to be over here, and whenever you're done, come, you know what I'm saying? No, He's right there, and you can feel it. I know it sounds crazy for people that are not believers or who have never experienced it, because it sounded crazy to me when I didn't experience it firsthand. But like, you can feel it right here with me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where that peace comes from, also within yourself, and you're working on yourself. But you got peace from all of it.
And I think this is kind of a statement of discernment. So, like, a lot of people don't really know the churchy lingo. Shoot, I didn't even know. Discernment is just basically saying what's God and what's not God, or what is divine and what's not divine, or what is good and what's bad. As simple as that. And so, anytime that you think of an idea, and just know that if you have peace about it, but it's going to challenge you out of that comfort zone, it's going to challenge the person you are right now, then it's probably God. Because one thing is, the enemy ain't going to try to, well, let's not say enemy, but opposition, any kind of opposition that you face, it's not going to try to progress you to become better. Ever. It's going to try to keep you in a cycle. So that's always how I tell people to discern, like, are you going to stay in a cycle by doing this, or are you going to go towards whoever you think you're being called to? It's a journey for sure.
Yes.
It is a journey for sure. It's going to test every gangsta bone in your body. Every single one.
It's definitely hard. But that was a misconception. Is that the right word? That's a misconception that I had, because I felt like if it was God telling me to do something, then it would just feel smooth and peaceful, and there would be no type of, trouble or struggles or anything. And that's not. That is so far from what it is. But again, I think we brought this up in one of the episodes. It doesn't feel permanent. Like, the tests feel like tests to me. The struggles feel like struggles. It feels like preparation. It feels like I'm working towards something. And then you can feel when you pass a test. Ooh, and it feels good, child. Whereas when it's not from God, it definitely don't feel like that. It feels permanent. Like, it feels like I'm going to be stuck right here forever. This is a test that I cannot overcome. This is whatever, it doesn't come with that peace and that fulfillment, and that it never feels like I'm unlocking a new level.
Never.
It feels like I'm stuck right there.
Like Mario when he eats the mushroom.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it plays with my insecurity so bad that it feels like I'm back to where I was.
Yeah.
You know, especially because I'm very open about the fact that I was in depression for a long time. So because these insecurities keep coming up as triggers and tests and all these things, it can feel so real, like I'm back in that place. And then when I overcome it and I'm like, oh wow, this ain't that.
Yeah.
This ain't that. And it feels good. It feels like, oh my gosh, I just won. I just got through a level. And it makes you more excited to keep going and keep progressing. Oh, you got a pop quiz? We didn't pull a question because we feel like we've done all these already. I think that's because we messed up doing the live. We did a live, like, not really a Q&A. We were just pulling these cards. This was the first time Nika was on one of my lives. And we pulled these cards, and we were on here for a while because people started playing with us, you know, and they're like, no, we want another question. I'm like, oh, okay. So we ended up doing a lot of them. But I don't know. We're really not strangers. Like, I feel like...
Oh, it's the same game. It's just a different
bag. I feel like I've genuinely known this person for forever.
And even watching back videos from when we first recorded wasn't even like episodes.
Yeah.
Like the ones I sent you today.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean you just met?
Yeah. When we first started recording, we would just like sit there and prop the phone up and just talk like about, but it was so natural. We had such good conversations too. I was like, that was really fun. That's how I knew we were going to be something.
I mean, that clip I sent you today, you were like, you need to tell me this about to be the easiest bag I ever made.
Yeah, I remember saying that. I remember feeling that. I still feel like that.
Yeah.
Because we're in our element. What we do is talk. This is what we do. On camera, off camera. Yeah. And this is what we have done separately too. Like, we're very good at, this is definitely a part of our purpose.
Yeah. And I think it's funny because I think it was the first episode possibly when we literally said like, we're bringing you guys along the journey as we grow in our friendship.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, for real. Because in 8 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to give y'all behind the scenes details right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when we initially met the first time about this podcast, we had the entire season basically spelled out, all the titles, what we were going to cover, the name of the season, which is We Made It. We didn't know what we made it to, but we made it.
We did all that in one sit down.
After one sit down. And I tell y'all, I like angel numbers. So 111 is like manifesting, right? Or like your dreams are coming reality type stuff. New beginnings, everything like that. And so I remember thinking like, oh wow, it's the first episode and there's 11. It's the first season, there's 11 episodes, so 111. And then for your birthday, we wanted to add the 20s. So we were first season, 12 episodes. Then we missed a week. So we fell back to 111, right?
Yeah.
And I just think the process that God has us going through is so, obviously accelerated, but it's so unique in the sense that, for example, we covered the first like 3 episode titles that we were going to discuss in the first like episode.
Yeah.
And so he required us to literally go week by week with faith.
Yeah.
To be like, yo, what are we talking about today?
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
And now we're back on track with the original list.
Yeah.
Starting with last week after we took a mid-season break.
Yep. Well, and that's what he's having us doing in our lives as well.
Yeah.
In our personal lives, in our podcast life, in our career life, like everything. We day by day by day by day by day. You might think you know the whole end result. You know, you have it all written down, 1 through 11.
Yeah.
But things go left and things go right. And no, you just have to live by faith, and you just have to walk it one step at a time, and you just have to rely on faith.
And we never quit.
Yeah.
Even on our week off, we never quit.
Yeah.
Like, I know we tried to record twice that week.
Yeah, we did.
It wasn't that we had a week off where we were just chilling. Like, no, we were still trying to put out. It just wasn't working.
Yeah.
He forced us to sit down for that week because he knew what the following week was going to lead us to.
Yeah.
And so it's just really crazy, this process, because, you know, we watch like Know For Sure podcast. They've been friends for like 20 years. They have this chemistry, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, love them.
That's gonna be natural if you know somebody for 20 years.
For sure.
But know somebody, we're on 7 months now, I guess.
Yeah.
Know someone for 7 months, and I know the most intimate details about the person you are and were and everything like that.
Yeah.
In 7 months, we have a whole business, a whole book,
Yeah.
And we're doing podcasts. Like, that's insane.
It is crazy.
Like, nobody will be able to relate to that.
Yeah.
That's alignment.
Yeah.
That is the definition of alignment.
For sure.
Bro, our last, and this is probably going to get me emotional, but these lashes ain't coming off, and I'm not going to cry. But our final episode is titled, Look Ma, We Made It.
Mm-hmm.
And week by week, we feel the weight of whatever the hell that episode's about to be.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
How did we make it back to the list?
I don't know.
We are on episode 8. This is episode 8. There are 11 total.
Yeah. So we got 3 left.
We have 3 episodes left.
3 months.
That's 3 weeks. You know what 3 is biblically? God's confirmation and signature for approval.
Yeah.
We have 3 weeks left until Look Ma, We Made It is released.
Yeah.
We have 3 weeks left until I have to tell my leasing office.
Yeah.
So the real kicker to this is when we say stand 10 toes down on the promises, we can believe all we want. But when we have a camera in front of us, you guys cannot deny the platform that we've given God.
Yeah.
You might not call it God, you may not call it whatever, you know? I really don't care. Something brought us together in 7 months where we have this alignment that you get to witness, and he's about to bang, whatever it is about to snap. And y'all are going to be like, how'd y'all go from this little rinky-dink, sorry, it's not rinky-dink, but a little rinky-dink office to traveling, to having guests on your podcast, to having, I'm manifesting that New York best time seller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys only know tip of the iceberg of things he's already revealed to us, whether it's between us and our husbands, whether it's us as an entity ourselves or as individuals. And you guys are witnessing this platform on video where it's literally showing you exactly what we've been telling people in our personal lives.
Yeah. They're witnessing us standing 10 toes down.
Standing 10 toes down.
Yeah. Even when we don't understand, even when we don't know how, we got 3 episodes left before the Look Ma, We Made It. We don't know what we made it to.
We still don't know.
I don't know how we made it. Made it where? Made it to what? Made it how?
We signing for our house then? Like, what's about to happen?
I don't know. But I think when you said we didn't quit, and my heart was like, oh, because I was literally like boo-hooing to that the other day, because from the start of just my personal journey, but obviously it changed a lot when I found alignment, right? But even when I met you and I got that confirmation and I got that alignment, it was like, you made it to, like, you're finally on track. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even nothing to do with her personally. Like, don't think I'm just obsessed with her. I mean, she is great. She's great. But it really is like, I felt like I was looking for something for forever. And then I finally got on the path, you know what I'm saying? And then when you start walking that path, it's like, oh, this is what life was supposed to feel like the whole time.
And then you have somebody going through it with you.
Yeah.
Because I've been going through this type of walk for 4 years by myself.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
Yeah.
People would have given up in 6 months. Especially with what I was
6
facing.
6 weeks.
Literally. Especially with what I was facing. And then I finally found someone where people are like, well, you said you're going to move like last year and the year before and you never did. I'm like, yeah, but Chelsea also got the confirmation she's moving.
Yeah.
That's not a coincidence.
No, it's not.
I can't act like that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks, we had the confirmation that we were to do a podcast, and we had the first episode released.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So what's about to happen before this Look Ma, We Made It episode?
I don't know, but y'all watching it in real time with us, because we figuring out the same time they figuring it out.
We in the same boat. We just know the end result, so we have a little leg up.
Yeah.
We don't know how, though.
We sure don't.
And in 3 weeks, we won't be able to take the credit.
No. Hence why he had us standing 10 toes down in front of these freaking cameras and these lights.
Bright lights.
Bright lights.
And in front of people that are listening to our own journeys on our own platforms.
Yeah. A lot of people.
A lot of people all over. And the fact I saw in the most recent episode we just dropped, where I said, you said, what are you excited about 30?
Yeah.
And I said, the fact that, along the lines, don't quote me, but along the lines of the fact that I made it to this place in my life where other people will never. Like, had never, will never.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's a blessing.
Yeah.
I wanted to give up so many times. Yeah. I wanted to quit so many times. I wanted to end my life so many times.
Same.
And to be in this place where I'm like being able to be that light to someone.
Yeah.
Anyone, wherever they are.
Right.
I have a platform to show you there's something higher and bigger than this.
Yeah.
I cannot take the credit for my life. First off, I am not even remotely as creative as how the storyline of my life has been.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I tell people my life story, they're like, that sounds like a movie.
Right. Right.
And you don't know what you experience until you really look at it from a zoomed perspective.
Yep.
Zoomed out perspective.
Yep.
That's really crazy.
And that's why I was crying so hard today. Because I recorded that. I think it was on my close friends, so not everybody saw it, but I had recorded myself just like getting emotional and sharing what was going on and my feelings at the moment and stuff. And I remember feeling like I didn't quit, and I really I made it. I'm telling you, it was a little over a year ago. I genuinely did not want to wake up. Like, I remember crying, and not even those, those one type of cries where it's just like you feel sorry for yourself. Like, I felt sad that I had to wake up. And that's what I recorded today. I'm like, I get up at 4:00 in the morning. Like, I'm excited to start the day. And when I stood there and I'm like freaking jogging, I'm practicing jogging. I literally didn't want to get out of bed. And now I'm so intentional about doing the most. You can't tell me that's anything but God. What is that?
That's in alignment with the video that I recorded that I'm dropping tomorrow too, where I literally was like, yo, I used to always look forward to going to sleep because I wanted to see where my dreams would take me. I said, now I'm living a reality where my dreams can never touch what my actual reality looks like.
Yeah.
I cannot take the credit for that.
At all.
At all.
It wasn't me.
Trust
I
me.
don't know how I'm here.
I would not still be here if it was up to me and how I was feeling in my lowest moments.
Oh, yeah.
I would still not be here.
For sure.
So, y'all don't have to believe, but just know I do not believe too.
Man.
And boy, did he tell me so.
That's right. Man, that's crazy.
Maybe this is why I'm telling you, I had real anxiety to start this episode. But just laying it out like that, let's stand 10 toes down then.
Yeah. Well, we kind of had a conversation about this before.
Yeah.
I forget what we was really talking about, but basically, we don't hide things. We're very open and we're very vulnerable about a lot of things. But a lot of the things that we both are dealing with, or even just me in particular, a lot of my insecurities and stuff that I'm still dealing with in real time, I don't really portray on camera. I don't really need to talk about it or want to. But we were talking about it and I'm like, that's my reality. That's my life. I can sit around and be like, just try to portray it differently as much as I want to. But mainly that came from the insecurity of it actually working out. You know what I'm saying? Not genuinely. If I genuinely have faith in everything that I have going on, and this is me personally, it's not about the podcast. I know what the podcast is. But if I genuinely have faith in everything that God's promising me, why are you not standing 10 toes on it? Why are you nervous about a little camera in your face and being like, well, it could be this? No, this is what God promised, so this is what it is.
Right. And it reminded me of me telling you, I've never opened up on this podcast about the whole relationship and who God said was my husband and everything. I haven't done that because it isn't the time for me to go into great detail with that journey.
Yeah.
But I realized today specifically that I was so embarrassed of some parts of it, but it was such a small part of the journey, the grand picture.
Yeah.
It was such a small detail.
Yep.
It's not going to feel small to certain people that aren't healed in that area. It's not going to feel small to people who just don't want to understand me.
Right.
But the thing is, my journey is beautiful, and it's bringing people to God.
Yep.
And it's bringing people to healing and just falling in love with themselves and their own lives.
Yeah.
And today I realized, why wouldn't I want to stand 10 toes down and be proud of that? That's something to be proud of.
Yep.
And even my mom was like, Nika, the opinions of others isn't your truth anyway.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The opinions of others is not my truth anyway. Yeah. I know who I am. I know whose I am, like I said last episode.
Yep.
And the fact that I was able to go back and watch that last episode and be like, I was beaming at myself, because it's one thing to always share and not know how people are going to receive it.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be able to hear it how other people are receiving it.
Yep.
And to see that I was standing 10 toes down. I had no embarrassment, like, I'm not with this person right now. However, God told me he's my husband, and there's been things that's been supporting everything but that, you know? And so why wouldn't I follow through?
Right.
Got to see it through, my boy.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's hard, especially when you have, first of all, when God tells you something, he don't tell the whole world. No. When he gives you a vision of something and he gives you clarity on something, he don't have to tell everybody around you. So when you have other people that they can't see it, you know what I'm saying? So they can't understand. They're not supposed to understand. That is the test of faith. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to stand 10 toes down on this promise? Because I told you clearly, you heard me what I said. So it doesn't matter what everybody else, but it can definitely affect the vision, and it can affect faith when you have all these other outside people that you care about. It ain't just strangers. It ain't just random people. It's people that love you and care about you, and they don't see it yet. They don't understand it yet. So now they're questioning you, or they're telling you, no, this ain't what it is, or they're, and now you're looking inward like, wait a second, am I tripping? Am I crazy? Especially when it's long lasting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't both of us, we're not talking about no little 2-month process or something like, oh, I got a little tired and I wanted to quit. No, this is taking years of our lives.
And it's the people closest to you that feel the most comfortable to hurt you.
Yeah.
And it might be because you never got to this kind of freedom.
Yeah.
It might be just because you genuinely aren't going to understand until you see it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I can't change any details about my life.
Right.
I can only live it. I can only stand 10 toes down on it.
Exactly.
And I can only use it for good.
Yep.
Everything. And that reminded me, you asked me what the word was. I did watch a great sermon this morning by Sarah Jakes.
Yeah.
We'll get the title. I forgot the title.
We'll put it in the
description. She said something like, there has been a misconception when people preach the scripture that says something along the lines that God works everything out for your good or something like that. And she said, that's not actually what the scripture says. That's kind of what it's been translated to. She said, she was basically talking about how, like, if she was saying God allowed it.
Yeah.
So any hurtful thing that you've experienced, God allowed it because he knew that he was going to use it for your good.
Yeah.
He's not going to change it. No, he already had a plan for it.
Yeah.
And so there's this misconception. It's like, oh, it's all going to work out for my good.
Yeah.
No, it was already there to plant that seed to get you a healing that you don't know right now. And that could be generational even. If you're thinking of things like abuse. A lot of the times that's a family generational cycle. Because I won't say curse because some people don't agree with that term.
Yeah.
It's a generational cycle. It's learned behavior. Someone has to break it. And it's not going to be easy to break. Half the mindsets and things that we've worked through, and when we say we made it, y'all about to see how we really made it, but how we made it is really mentally.
Yeah.
I really wanted to escape to my dreams all the time. I'm living a reality because I checked my mind.
Yeah.
And that, literally anything can happen in the future. But the thing is, I corrected my mindset so that anytime that does happen, I know how to pivot.
Yep.
I have these skills. You don't get that without a process. Yep. It's not going to feel good, and it's going to make you want to quit every single time.
Yeah.
But you have to look at the good. Yep. You have to find the good. You have to find the lesson. You have to find the light.
Yeah.
It's hard out here, y'all.
It is. PMJ said in the sermon this past Sunday, he said, I knew it was from God because I wouldn't have picked it.
Man.
And I said, I know that's right, child, because I sure wouldn't have. Let me not go on a tangent.
I was about to go on a tangent myself. Because I'm over here when you told me he was my husband, he told me he was moving back home, I had a new man on my line ready to see.
Bro, I wouldn't have picked that one.
I'm keeping a buck with you. I'm not.
Yeah.
You know how many times I try to move on? How many times I try to make a puzzle piece fit that wasn't fitting?
Yeah.
I referred to a puzzle in a recent episode with us where I was like, I feel, no, this is just a conversation. See if we just deep like that. But basically, it feels like sometimes life gives you a piece to a puzzle that's like a border.
Yeah.
But then you get pieces that actually are a part of the picture. Why would I try to make my own puzzle piece to fit when I already know the exact puzzle piece that's supposed to fit?
Yes.
Because of other people's opinions?
Right.
Because of what people may say?
Yeah.
Y'all are miserable with your own lives.
And because it's hard for us too. Like we said, I wouldn't have picked it, not as in that man or that person. I wouldn't have picked that situation for me. And it's hard to wrap my mind around the fact that God picked that for me. Because if 2 + 2 = 4, then this situation doesn't look like what the healed version of myself should be having, should be deserving, should be marrying.
If God is good, then why does this feel bad?
That feels real bad. That don't feel good at all. But it's not always going to feel good. That's another thing. We always say what you need, or God will give you what you need, or especially when we're talking about like a wife and a husband or a spouse, whatever. They always say you get what you need, the person you need, not what you want. But what you need, it does not always feel good. A lot of times it's what's going to test you and it's going to prepare you,
sharpen you.
Exactly. It's going to test you in so many ways, and it's going to pinpoint certain insecurities that you need to work through, and it doesn't always feel good. So it's like when PMJ said that, I said, baby, that's the one, because I wouldn't have picked that. I wouldn't have picked that situation for me, not the man. The man is top tier. But the situation itself,
ghetto.
I would have been out a long time ago. You know how toxic I was? I blocked people left and right, not because I ever thought I was like better than somebody or trying to be bratty, but because I didn't want to deal with it. Like, I didn't want to get hurt. No, you know how many insecurities have been messed with in relationship in particular?
I got hurt the worst while walking with God.
The worst. Yeah. The worst.
The worst.
Yeah.
It don't matter what kind of childhood trauma I done experienced. Yeah. Nothing tops what I experienced while walking with God.
Yeah.
Still don't make sense to me. But what I got out of it, like, I would do every single thing again.
Yeah, I really would.
Will I complain? Yup.
Every time.
Every goddamn time.
That's something I'm finna do. And cry a lot.
I cry a
lot.
And be like, I don't think you really said that, brother. I don't really think you.
Are you sure?
I think you said that fine brother over there is my husband, baby. Yes, man.
Especially when they come knocking.
Man. I will say, so, fellas, sorry, the DMs are closed.
The DMs are closed. My DMs are very closed. My relationship status is single, but my heart is very much taken. Like, it's over. There's no way. You can't even get in there.
Like,
I mean, it would take a really long time for me to...
Even if we having conversation, just know, like, you ain't him, and you're never going to be able to do what he did for me.
Yeah.
Because everything, and that's the mind-blowing thing to me, because I do believe in purpose mates and everything. Obviously, we are sitting next to one of ours, but everything that he poured into me in 3 months of dating is everything that I'm telling people to the masses.
Yeah.
A seed that I watered for 4 years. And now I have a platform.
Yeah.
Y'all can't shut me up. Especially when you see how everything come back around, baby. Y'all ain't going to be able to shut me up.
Yeah. That's how it be especially when it's a spiritual connection. Yeah. And that's another thing too. I didn't understand that to begin with, because I was always looking for compatibility on the surface level, like the physical, right? Like, oh, I think he's fine. Oh, we get along. Oh, he's funny. Like, but when you're connected to somebody spiritually, you're not going to find anything with anybody else.
When you're talking to soul ties,
there's nothing that anybody else can offer me that is going to be better than my spiritual connection with it. It doesn't even have anything necessarily to do with him personally. It's the spirit in you.
You will be me settling.
Yeah, for somebody else, yeah.
If I go any other route than what God clearly spelled out, I am settling, and I knew that. I settled enough for my 20s, for my teens.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that in my 30s. Hell no.
Absolutely not.
So
too many people are settling.
Prepare to be sick of us. We get married next year.
Listen, I'm gonna be my man. I'm gonna be that girl. People gonna hate me. I'm gonna hate myself. Just stop doing that. Stop showing that ring.
I'm gonna love myself because, baby, you worked for this.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all know how long I've been in toxic relationships or toxic situations, or just been miserable for what? Like settling. I'm going to be annoying. I'm going to be extra. I want matching fits. I want the whole everything.
Can we all get matching fits?
Yes.
Listen, y'all. We've been tested and quizzed for the last week or so. Last few weeks. So we don't have a pop quiz today because, baby, we tired.
Why am I still working?
I'm tired. So I think that's a wrap. However, I did realize in the last episode, we did not say where can we find you on social media?
You can find me. She makes fun of me, y'all.
I love it.
You can find me at All Things C Win across all social media platforms.
She didn't say it right. You can find her at All Things C Win.
And it's not. I have to stop saying across all social media platforms. It's not. I have yet to start my YouTube because I'm disobedient.
Hey, y'all getting the.
This is a very vulnerable episode.
Once we started sprinkling the truth the last episode, I already knew it was about to be all up.
Yeah, and I didn't care. I was like, okay, come on, it's my reality.
Whoever's supposed to watch is supposed to watch it. You can find me at Nika J Commodore. That's NIKAJ Commodore COMMODORE. That's TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, but like Facebook's for family, y'all.
Yeah, Facebook is for family.
Yeah,
and I stopped using Snapchat.
People keep sending me friend requests. I'm like, love you, thanks for the share, but
yeah, that's usually how it goes. People don't usually add people on Facebook, but TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah, I don't have that yet, and I have not gotten a confirmation that I'll be having that. So, and where can they find us?
Y'all can find us at The Ironic Pod. You can find our episodes every Monday on YouTube and Spotify. And
Instagram and TikTok is the same.
Yes. The Ironic Pod.
Ooh, we made it.
That's a wrap.